Good afternoon, we're team number 1. The team members are Nayeli González, Valeria Márquez, Elena Leal, Andrea Peña, Jimena Mancha, and Ingrid Navides. And we're going to talk about the skeletal system. Structures and organs. Bone is a vital dynamic connective tissue whose structure and composition reflect the balance between two of its major functions: provision of mechanical integrity for locomotion and protection, and involvement in the metabolic pathways associated with mineral homeostasis.
In addition, bone is a primary site of hematopoiesis, and a rich picture of the complex interplay between the bone organ system and the immune system to emerge. The main job of the bones is to provide structure and support for your body. Bone cells called osteoblasts produce new bone and keep it hard. This hard structure is used to keep us standing and support our organs.
These three are the main functions of the skeletal system. First, we have the body locomotion, that is basically the human body moving throughout the day. Then we have the basic morphology, that is the human evolution. And finally, we have the bipedal posture, that is to walk in 2 feet. Here we can see other important parts of the skeletal system. First, we have the joints that allow us to move during the day. Second, we have the bones that act as levers and structural support to the body. Next, we have nerves. They coordinate and stimulate muscle contractions. After that, we have the muscles that apply effort or force. Then, we have tendons, that is the joint from muscle to bone. Finally, the ligaments are the joints from bone to another bone.
Made mostly of collagen, bones are living, growing tissues that have their own blood vessels and are made up of living cells, which help them to grow and to repair themselves. They support the body structurally, protect our vital organs, and allow us to move. There are 3 types of cells that contribute to bone homeostasis. Osteoblasts are the bone builders, responsible for the synthesis and mineralization of the bone. Osteoclasts make and secrete digestive enzymes that break up or dissolve the bone tissue. And osteocytes are mature osteoblasts that have become trapped within the very bone matrix they produced. The bone matrix provides mechanical support and has an essential role in the bone homeostasis. It can release several molecules that interfere in the bone cell's activity, and consequently it has a participation in the bone remodeling. Spongy bone, also known as bone marrow, is a soft, flexible connective tissue within bone cavities. Its main functions are to produce blood cells and to store fat.
Bones. These 5 are the main types of bones in the skeletal system. First, we have the flat bones that are the ones that its main function is to protect the organ. Second, we have the long bones that are crucial for the skeletal mobility. Next, we have the short bones that provide stability to the body. After that, we have the regular bones that have multiple functions, but the 2 most important are that them protect the organs and join the other bones. Finally, we have these sesamoid bones that act like pulleys, smoothing the surface. The skeletal system is divided into 2 parts. First, we have on the left side the actual skeleton. This is where the most important organs are in. Then, on the right side, we have the appendicular skeleton. That is the full movement because of the legs and the arms.
The thorax is the area of the body that is located between the abdomen and the neck. Within the thorax are the lungs, the heart, and the first section of the aorta. It protects internal organs. In addition, the chest can widen during the breathing process, and thanks to this, it allows the expansion of the lungs during the inhalation process. The shoulder girdle is made up of 4 bones, and it connects the upper limbs to the axial skeleton. The pelvic girdle is located in the lower part of the trunk. It connects the axial skeleton to the lower limbs. The superior members are made up of 60 bones and 4 segments, and its functions are mobility, manipulation, and holding. The upper limbs also help us grab things. The inferior members are made up of 60 bones, and they have the function of supporting the weight of the body in the biped position and making movements possible by contracting its powerful muscles.
I'm going to talk about the illnesses and sickness of the skeletal system. The first one that I'm going to talk about are fractures. A fracture can also be referred to as a broken bone. Fractures can occur in different parts of our body, and there are many different types of fractures, but they are generally categorized by the nature and location of the break. The second one is osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a skeletal disease in which a decrease in bone mass density occurs. The bones become more porous, the number and size of the cavities or cells that exist within them increase, and because of that, they are more fragile. They resist shocks less and break more easily. The next one is arthritis. This is an inflammation of the joints. This can cause pain and limited range of movement. Several things can cause arthritis, such as the breakdown of cartilage that is found in joints, autoimmune conditions, or maybe an infection. The next one is bone cancer. As we know, there are many different types of cancer, but we are only going to focus in the one that affects directly to the bone. Cancer can develop in the tissue of the bone or in the cells produced by bones. The cancer that forms in a primarily bone tissue is quite rare. The more common is the cancers of the blood cells produced by bone, such as myeloma or lymphoma. The last one that I'm going to talk about is the spinal curvature. A spinal curvature is when the spine doesn't curve in its usual shape. Typically, the spine follows gentle forward and backward curves. There are three main types of spinal curvature: kyphosis, scoliosis, and lordosis. As you can see in the images, kyphosis and lordosis are pretty similar, but the main difference is that in kyphosis, the curve creates a rounding in the upper back, and in lordosis, the curve also creates, but creates inward and in the lower back.
Keywords.
Set of things working together as part of a mechanism or an interconnected network. A part of an organism that is typically self-contained and has specific vital functions, such as the heart or the liver in humans. A bone is any of the pieces of hard-wired tissue making up the skeleton in humans and other vertebrates. An internal or external framework of work or other rigid material supporting or containing the body of an animal or a plant. A disease or period of sickness affecting the body. The arrangement of a relation between the parts of elements or something complex. Any of the distinct types of material of which animals or plants are made, consisting of specialized cells and their products. A person or thing that prevents someone or something from suffering harm or injury.